Hello ladies and mostly gentlemen, I'm Vinibi, and after 2 years of building the Smart Busa, also after a not so impressive winter session, and a okay drifting episode at the farm, it's now track time. It's now track time! Unfortunately, it won't end well. Right before all of this, we need to prep the car. Thank you, future me. Yeah, as you can see, the Smart is far from ready. I've got a bunch of things to complete before the big day, like fixing the faulty reverse motor, putting back on the fenders, and all sorts of plastic panels, maybe building a roll cage. Oh, sorry. Hey, hello. Yeah, it's me. Okay, yeah, I understand. I just been informed that I won't have the time to a roll cage, so yeah, no roll cage. Installing the custom door I made and building the one for the passenger side that I should have parts somewhere. Ah, there you go. And so many other things, so yeah, montage time. First thing on hand was to change the throttle cable. You see, 99% of the time I will over-engineer things. And that's a clear case of the other 1%. Yeah, I used the bicycle brake cable. I know, don't judge. I was in a rush, but now I will install a push-pull cable. Now that's the good stuff. Okay, first problem. Typical throttle cable on motorcycle engines are wrapped around a wheel on the carburetor. But the new cable seems too stiff and won't bend around the Hayabusa carburetor wheel. Oh shit. So after much trial and error to find a solution for the stiffness problem, I decided to go another route. And I switched the cable around. Before, with the cheap bicycle cable, you could feel the friction on the cable rubbing in its sheath. I know it's hard to grasp how painful it was before through this video, so let me reenact how it really felt with the cheap bike cable. Ugh. But now it's buttery smooth. Alright, next thing on the list. Since I'm not interested of being impaled by an exploding chain, I think I should put back on the chain guard. I only have to increase the opening since I had it a sprocket-differential. If you missed that video, I highly recommend you have a peek, but you know, after watching this one. During the drifting session, the tip-over sensor gave me such a hard time that it's time to get rid of it. Unfortunately, I cannot just simply unplug it, because the ECU will give me an error code and the engine won't start. So I just need to match the resistance from the sensor to trick the ECU that, yeah, it's still there. We're getting about 62,000 ohms, so let's find a resistance close to that. Not this one, still not it. Yeah, of course, it's gonna be the last one. Oh, 68K. That should be alright. Alright, no code. Yeah, perfect. Next! This is not what you think it is. Or is it? Come on! Just like peanut butter. Let's not forget the edges. There we go.
So cute!
24 hours later.
Okay, with the driver's side door installed, it was now time to fabricate the one for the passenger side. And that meant only one thing. Facing, once again, the I don't like you so much vacuum forming machine. Briefly, for those of you who are new to this channel, the problem that I have with this machine that I made is to evenly distribute the heat to melt the plastic. So in attempt to recycle the hot air, I installed in the past a cheap duct fan from Amazon, which lasted, I don't know, maybe 4 whole minutes. Somebody suggested in the comments to replace the cheap Amazon fan with a much bigger furnace fan, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Conveniently, the fan came with 3 different wires for 3 different speeds. Let's try the red one. It's a bit powerful. Okay, like really too much. But it's such a nice breeze. Okay, let's go with the green one. Nah, better, but kinda hard to show on camera. Let me, yeah, she won't need this anymore. Ah, perfect. Alright, let's quickly install this before some of you start skipping the video to the track session. Yeah, I know you guys. Hello there. So after a little bit of that, some of this, and quite often that. Yeah, again, and a shit ton of that. I was finally done with a functional passenger door. Ooh, fancy. It was now time to pack my bags and hit the road. Last little spot check, and we are looking good. Oh boy, I was nervous. I shouldn't have eaten that mum spaghetti. I swear, next time I'm starting a knitting channel. Oh boy. Then I register myself as a noob, or code green if I go by the tracks organization. After a little nervous pee, I drove the Smart Busa around the block, just to shake myself up a bit, and I was hoping to not pick up fallen parts from the car on my way back. Looking good, still in one piece. Alright, buckle up, it's my turn. many things that I want to talk about. First, I totally forgot to attach my helmet. So nervousness makes you dumb. Second, the car felt great. The throttle response and the engine power are decent, the car goes in a straight line, and the suspension works. So it seems that I did a couple of things right while building it. During this session, I was mostly listening, feeling the car, making sure that everything was balanced and feeling solid. Trying to build a trust relationship with the car before even pushing it. Looking constantly at the gauges, fuel is good, got oil pressure, and the engine was comfy at the right temp. This step is crucial and needs to be done before finding the car's limits. And then my limits. I even scare myself a little. That's the wall. Everything went smoothly and the nervousness was far gone. Until this. Once again. Instantly my mind went. And as a preventive measure, I decided to head back in the pit and figure out what was going on. First thing I noticed. That was funny though. I looked at all the links and everything was looking good. I had no leaks and nothing was overheating. But I had a ton of grease in the rear left wheel. It seems that I busted an axle boot. And no big deal for now. Since I couldn't see what was wrong with the engine, it was time for round 2. Or so I thought. Well, that's not a good sign. Attaboy. Since I was waiting in line, I decided to turn off the engine. That's not good. Now we engage, checking the big 3. Air, gas and fire. Gas and air was okay, but we had no sparks on all 4 plugs, meaning it's probably electrical. After spending many hours looking for the cause, on-off switch, clutch sensor, key sensor, pedal sensor, you know, the typical unusual sensors for a car, we couldn't find anything. We had the chance to have help from other drivers, which is something I really appreciate in the car community, and we made some new friends. Unfortunately, everything was pointing to the crank sensor, which, you guessed it, I don't carry a spare one with me. So once again, it was time to pack my bags, open a cold beer and enjoy the rest of the day with my new friends and watch them race around the track. I was even able to negotiate a seat for my cameraman of the day, Patrice, who was with me all day but couldn't come ride with me since the Smart has only 1 seat. Alright, so that's it for this first track day episode. It lasted only 15 minutes, but I learned a bunch of things. And one of those things is the fact that racing a Smart is plain stupid. This thing is literally a shopping cart with an engine. It's too high and way too short. It's just not a good platform to begin with. But between you and me, when you realize that you can keep up with the Porsche 911S, that brings me joy. And a lot of it. So I won't beat record and be the fastest in this thing. But again, I'm out there driving really fast that micro machine among other real cars. For me, it's just such an achievement in itself and makes me more than happy. And it's just the beginning of the racing story for the Smart. I'm still waiting for parts to repair the car and go back ASAP at the track to bring you back a ton of footage and data. I want to see how the suspension really works and how much plastic I can melt off these front fenders. Then probably I will get slick tires and eventually start looking at maybe a little bit more power, like Turbo Busa, maybe, who knows. I'm gonna get there eventually, but only after the roll cage, which I didn't start working on. Alright, so see you soon, but till then, va faire quelque chose avec tes mains, ta tête, ou les deux. See ya, guys. Did I mention it was a really windy day? It's now track time. Sérieux? Hey, we're back.